Greetings, everyone. My name is Tsholofelo Mofokeng. I'm 22 years of age and I'm a female part in career. I'm currently doing my final year financial accounting at Northwest University, and I enjoy helping in a modeling school in my community because I have a passion for modeling, and it's because of modeling that I found my why and my purpose in life. I aspire to be a chartered accountant because I want to develop, influence, and lead in the corporate world, to take up space, and not only for myself, but to also extend the table for other women who are as powerful. Because I believe it is important for one to always find something that empowers them in life. And I've done this through modeling. I've always wanted to do modeling. I grew up in Sebokeng, we never had modeling schools. And when I got to high school, that's when I found my first modeling school. In a modeling school, I learned more about self-confidence, communication skills, and just how to carry yourself in public when you're a young woman, and how to also bring about change in your community. I did so many pageants and won my first pageant, Miss Riverside High School. And it's because of that pageant that I realized that there were still women who were so fascinated about it, because they will come to me and ask me, how did you walk like that? And I realized in that moment that there were still young women who were not only fascinated about modeling, but looking for ways to empower themselves.
Actually 22 years of age. I'm a student, and yeah, I've always loved modeling. I've always wanted to be a model, but I feel like the minute I entered the modeling space, I realized that there was so much that can be done in the modeling space. And I realized that it can be a tool one can use to empower the youth. So that's why I entered so many pageants that had the same vision. That I'm also trying to be part of the Miss Eagle, the Miss South Africa.
Okay.
Is also a leadership platform. So I'm more into that. So
Sulu,
yes.
can you repeat the last part? You were breaking. I didn't hear the last part. I think when you're speaking about it's also part of leadership. I think our network is a bit decky.
Yeah, I was also more into the Miss South Africa platform, because it is also a leadership platform that empowers women. So I am more into that, and that's the reason why I've always wanted to do modeling, because I saw there was that space that allowed women to actually excel in being themselves. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. And you're speaking about women being themselves. And I think a lot of women still struggle to be themselves, to be, comfortable or confident. So what advice would you give to, a woman there? And this is not me specifying just on the beauty or modeling industry. just any woman, how can you advise them to be confident, to love themselves more, and to appreciate themselves?
You know, what I always say is that I always found modeling as something that I could do to empower myself and to learn more from it. But I always encourage young women and even the youth in general to always find something that empowers them. It shouldn't, even if it's not modeling, something that could just empower you as a young as a young woman or a man, let me just say even a man, because I'm one person who empowers the youth as a whole. So I always find that if you find something like that, it will always make it easy for you to tap into things that will empower other women, because I'm also an aspiring child accountant. I'm looking into entering in the corporate world, and I want to be in that world, but also be able to extend the table for other women to also be in that table and to have powerful and meaningful conversations, and also tap into things that will empower us as women wherever we are in our spaces and take up space. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Guys, I mean, like you heard it. She's beauty and she has the brains. I mean, like a CA, guys. You know what a CA is, eh? Oh, wow. Wow, that is fantastic. Of course, when you are done, I will definitely need your services because, hey, accounting and business, it's one of
Yo.
those. I'll definitely consult you when the time is right. All right. So, I mean, it's not new that you've been in this industry of, modeling. And I know that I think the time that you were at my event, you were actually the finalist of, was Miss Eagle or Miss Eagle or something?
Yeah, Miss Eagle South Africa.
Yeah, Miss Eagle South Africa. And I mean, to me, I think I got to see, so much passion in you. And not just the passion to want to achieve or be the next role model to others, but I think I see it in you as a person who has that leadership skills. And I think, touching on, like, right now we are approaching Youth Month, and I've really thought of this future leaders program, mainly because right now COVID-19 has affected a lot of young people, and some actually need to be, need people to actually feed them information. It's like a lot of things are changing, the way of reading, the way of being taught. So it's like there's so much discipline that is needed on individuals. So when it comes to the youth, and as an empowering young woman, when it comes to the youth, I think, what advice can you give them in terms of adapting to this new change, and especially in their studies and all that? What can you say to them?
Like you said, like when we met, I was still doing the Miss Eagle South Africa. And Miss Eagle South Africa, it wasn't a pageant, but it was a movement of powerful women just together from different provinces, helping the youth and empowering the youth. And I feel like that was so relevant at that time. And I still feel like, if I'm so excited and wondering what they're still going to do this year, given the COVID-19 situation, because I feel like this is the moment where movements and powerful women getting together like that, as we really need women like that who be together and trying to empower the youth. And even school, I believe that once you have knowledge, it is hard for you to keep it on yourself. You always want to just share it with other people. I believe other people can just branch into spaces to just, even on youth day, try to teach other young kids, especially our matrics, because they're finding it hard during this pandemic. I feel like, if as the youth, try to empower the youth by just doing small things like helping the matrics, or even yourself just getting together with your friends, talk to your friends, have conversations, and try to figure out how can we work the schedule, because the schedule that they give us here, it's so difficult, because we at home, we're working with different schedules that we're not even used to. We used to just knowing that when I meet a lecture, that's when I'll like submit things. But now you are expected to do things at your own pace, and also going with the schedule of the time that you are given. So yeah, like just I would advise the youth to not only take it upon themselves to say, I'll just look for myself, I'll just take care of myself, look at how I do things, but also consider other people and branch into other things that you can do to help others. Yeah.
I honestly love that. I honestly love that because I know that like I think last week, was it last week? We also had another guy who is a global and international speaker that we got to interview,
Okay.
and he really emphasized the fact that you need to also consider getting other people to assist you. And like for example, some would complain that technology, we don't have laptops, we don't have all of that, but you know that there's a neighbor that knows a certain subject. Get together or find someone who can help.
Mm-mm.
So basically, what you're saying is that there's no excuse. If you cannot do it on your own, you can get help.
Yes.
So together we can actually do more, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So without a waste of time, I think the very last question would be mainly what you are now, embarking on. I mean, Miss South Africa, I mean, we think of Zozibini and, we look at her, we're thinking, at some point she didn't think that, hey, I could actually be the next Miss South Africa, Miss Universe. So what is it about you wanting to be in that? I know that you are an inspiring young woman and you want to also inspire other people, work on a lot of projects. But what happened? What happened? What came into mind when you wanted to actually enter Miss South Africa? So I think soon the votes will be coming, and chances are you will be on the top three and all that. So that's why we should actually consider even voting for you when the time comes.
Yeah, definitely. I felt like this year, I just felt like I wanted to enter Miss South Africa. You're never ready for it. I guess for anything, for any opportunity in your life, you're never ready for it. But you always know when is the right time to enter. And for me, I've always been working on myself, trying to better myself. But then I got to a point where, yes, you can work on yourself and better yourself, but when is the time where you can share it with other people? Because we are in spaces where we work so hard and we empower the youth. And like for me, what I do is I always see that there is an expected gap, for us to close, when it comes to people who are not doing township and people who are living in the big city. I feel like there's so much that we still have to do, but then I feel like you are never ready for it, and your story is never be perfect in order for it to be powerful. So I always felt like I want to start this year to enter Miss South Africa because I believe my story is worth telling and it is as powerful as well. And I feel like in order for me to inspire the next person, I have to put myself out there. I cannot just blossom in my own space and feel like, yeah, I don't really need to be out there. Why would I go to South Africa when I can just be local? But then we forget that in order to inspire other people, there are other people who are going through what you are going through right now, and you don't even know it. You don't even know it. But then if you put yourself out there and let South Africa to experience your story and really learn from it, and that's what I'm going for. That's what I want to see happen, and that's what I just want to inspire the youth. I just want to own my voice and embrace, my self-worth, and allow the young people to learn from me.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. I like that. And I think that was the best way of wrapping it up because if I have to sum up what you just said, you are actually a
Yeah.
leader. So you are leading by example and you are not, backing down. So you've had aspirations of doing something. And instead of holding yourself back, you're actually going, out for it. And I appreciate you for that. And I wish you nothing but the best. I trust you and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that you get to the next level because you know what, you are inspiring, and every young woman out there, every actually youth in general, they can actually be inspired by what you just said, and not only be inspired but also take it upon themselves to also lead, because leadership is not just you seeing other people doing great things and actually following. You also have to take a lead and show that you can actually stand and do the best in your life. So thank you so much
Exactly.
for that. I can go on, but I think that's enough. So any closing words?
Yo, all I can say is let's take it upon ourselves to inspire and empower the next young woman, and let's go out there and be let's take the duty, let it be our duty to want to do best for other kids and give them what we got from other people. Because for me to be in a modeling school, I got help from other people. I got in this industry because other people were there for me, and other people taught me this, So I would ask the youth to just continue being of help. Let's be agent of change in our communities, and let's do what's best for ourselves and be the best visions of ourselves, and for never forgetting other people. Yes.
Oh, beautiful. Let's be the agent of change, guys. Change is upon us, and we all need to adapt to it, and we need to take it upon us to make it happen. With that said, thank you so, so much for watching. Thank you so much. Do make sure that you follow Tsholofelo. I'll definitely make sure that I have a link to her Instagram page and her Facebook page. Do follow her, see what she does, and connect with her more. For that, from that, actually, I think that's enough. Thank you, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe.